Hello and welcome to the point of sale webinar. My name is Rory. I'll be going through the point of sale functionality, where the items that we see on the point of sale are stemming from, the different options that are available to offer customization, kind of the whole, from top to bottom, everything that you would need to know about point of sale. If you have any questions as we're going along, just put the questions in the chat if you would. And if I see them as I'm going through the webinar, I will definitely address them as they come up in the chat. If you think of something after the call, you can always reach out to us via issue, submit ticket, and submit a ticket to our support staff, and we'd be happy to help you there as well. So to begin with, point of sale can be found in the left-hand navigation menu under point of sale. This is the window that we're looking at. We have options for search to search for certain items. So a brochure, it's just going to pull anything from the name field. And this is nice because you can search for any portion of the name. So if you know that it's 4/4 in the name, you can search for that. It doesn't have to be exactly the right spelling to begin, starting with BRO, something like that. So that is a nice option in order to find what you're looking for. And then also there are what we refer to as product catalogs, which are used on the web to print. They're repurposed here in the point of sale, which would allow you to search for certain items that are within a group. So these product catalogs help us to organize products. And then to get back to the main menu, we can just hit the back button. So this will declutter the point of sale screen. Also, we want to take a look at how to reduce the number of products that are necessary on the point of sale. And we'll go into that when we look at the what we refer to as product attributes. So where these items are stemming from, we've taken a look at what this interface looks like, but where these items are stemming from are in online ordering and products. So if we go to online ordering products and we do a search for our brochure that we were looking at right here, this brochure 4/4, you can use the search functionality over on the left-hand side. But the same products that you can use in a quote or an order, now using the new from product option. So what I'm referring to is when you're in a quote, new from product, you can insert products into a quote. So here's our brochure 4/4, add, and then we can make adjustments to that specific to what the client need is. So those same products that are utilized here in the quote and order level are also available on the web to print, and they're also being used on the point of sale. So products are very versatile in Docket Manager, and they offer a lot of different flexibility. So if we're looking for this brochure 4/4 to see how this was created, we can click on the parent number, 1037. This is written and displayed much like a quote or an order is in Docket Manager, where you have the parent number or the quote or order number, and then you have an item number for each item that was within that number. So if we look at brochures 4/4, just going to click into this. This is going to look a lot like a quote or an order item. It will be in purple because it's a product. And we go into edit mode in the top right-hand corner so that we can make changes. Again, this looks a lot like a quote or an order item, but it also now has an online section that a quote or an order item doesn't have. And within this online section is where we can assign this to the point of sale. So this is point of sale, yes, we're turning that on, and then it's able to be viewed right here. And it's the one with the asterisk I just put on so we can find the right one here as we're adding more products to the point of sale for testing purposes. So once this is assigned to the point of sale, it's now visible on the point of sale. You can also enable access for web to print down here. There is a webinar specifically geared towards products and web to print. I would suggest you take a look at that. We'll go over where those are on the call as well at the end. So starting off, when you're creating a product, if we go back a level, I put all of these products under the same 1037 number for organizational purposes, and I named this point of sale products. If we hit actions, edit, you can see that it's point of sale products is the name, and I put it under a customer of walk-in. I've seen other scenarios where customers have put the point of sale products under a customer named point of sale so that you know that that's where it's being utilized. So you could create a customer record in CRM called point of sale and then assign that to them so that you know that's where it's being used. Whatever works best for you. You can also put it under your own company name, however you want to do it. It's not going to restrict anyone from being able to order certain things. All items on the point of sale are available to all clients. So the thought process is that this is like the reason that point of sale was created initially was a front desk situation where people would walk in, ask for a certain type of product that you offer, and then you could just add it to the cart and then choose the customer in the top right corner, the contact here, and then have that interaction where you're telling them the price and then they're accepting that, and then you're placing the order and maybe they're paying for it at that time. Since then, we now offer, if we add this to the cart, you can also create a quote out of this now, which is really nice. That wasn't a feature. It's been a couple months. This has been out, if not a year. Time is just flying by. But you can now save this as a quote. So really, this functionality allows for point of sale to come out of the front office, front counter situation, and it could be put into the hands of salespeople when they're on the road. Again, it's a cloud-based system, so if they have internet access, they can access this page. They can do their own quoting right here, from the point of sale without having to create a quote the traditional way. So if you create these products with all the specifications for how you want them written up, the pricing's all set in there. They can just make a couple decisions and give the customer a price and not have to call back into the office or message the office to get the quote done. So this option here is kind of a game changer for point of sale, not just restricting it to the front desk environment. So again, we're looking at we had talked about the product catalogs. So if we jump back to our product, I'll just hit save here, and I'm going to go into this 4/4 product so we can take a look at what's here. The product catalogs are located on the right-hand side of the screen. You can access it in edit mode or not in edit mode, so in view mode, but you're putting this into a product catalog, and this is brochures, and it's retail brochures. There's two names there, and the reason for that is one is customer facing or point of sale facing, and the other one is an internal name so that you know that that's where that's being used. Maybe it's called brochures and point of sale brochures. I have it listed as retail brochures. Where those product catalogs are managed is in online ordering product catalogs right here. So if we click this and open this in a new tab so we can take a look at this. So here's the name that's customer facing or point of sale facing, and then this is the internal name. So if we wanted to take this and repurpose this, so we know that's being used on the point of sale, that name is now indicating that. There is an image available here. This is on the web to print side of things. This is not used on the point of sale, just a heads up there. So these naming conventions are completely up to you how you want to create these. The system comes with a certain number of product catalogs that you can utilize. Feel free to change them and repurpose them as necessary. Again, this is in online ordering and product catalogs right here. Excuse me. So at the product level, product catalog, we're just hitting edit, and then we can change this product catalog to whatever we would like this to be. This will refresh when I refresh the page, and then you're just hitting save. So that is a way to organize your products so you don't have to scroll through every single one to find what you're looking for or type in search. So we have brochures 4/1, brochures 4/4, and then I just repurposed this one that we're working on right now. It's the same thing. So back in edit mode on this product, I had talked about reducing the number of products that you would need on the point of sale. And what I mean by that is brochures 4/4, but do we want to have a brochure for a fold in half, a brochure for a trifold, a brochure with no folding perhaps? Do we need a product for every one of those options? And then also, do we need a product for a trifold on 80-pound gloss text, a trifold on 100-pound gloss text, a trifold on silk, so on and so forth? We can combine all of those options into one product utilizing product attributes. Back at the product level, in the online section, so the online section, here's the top of the page in the product. So just coming down here to the online section again, and right above where we enabled point of sale to yes, are product attributes. So the first option we'll look at is, so what you're going to do is hit new right here to add the plus sign. And you can give this a name. This is the call to action. And then you're going to choose either department item or stock. What is the type? So for the stock option I had created, we'll look at that one first. I wrote choose a stock. The type was stock. It's not a required choice that they have to make a choice, but you could mark it as required. And then I hit attributes new, and this brings up your entire stock list. You add whatever options you want available on this product. I have added 100-pound gloss text, 100-pound silk text, and 80-pound silk text. The stock that is assigned to the product as a default stock is the 80-pound gloss text. So we don't have to add that to this table. I believe you'll get an error or an inactive. So you want to leave that one out. It'll show up for us. But we can say, offer these different stock selections in addition to the one that is assigned to the product as the default. And if this is selected, add this to the price of the job. And then we hit save. Okay. The second option is choose a fold. And that's the second option is the department item type. So if you put this on department item type and you hit new, this will open up all of your department items. So then you can offer different selections based on department items. So I have fold in half, trifold, and then no folding. Where these are being displayed on the point of sale, when you add the product to the cart by hitting add to cart, it comes over here. You can hit this down arrow, and right here you have choose a stock. There's our 80-pound gloss text, like we had said, in the default. 100-pound price is going to go up based on that selection. So now we're at $193.30 for 500. And if we put this as a fold in half, that's going to go to $213.64. So again, if this is with someone that's out on the road or even someone internally that isn't versed in creating quotes and picking all of the right things, and you want to offer these types of products that you do regularly, build them as products, enable them on the point of sale, provide the right choices here to allow for not the entire stock list, right? But just the normal stocks that we might run this on. And then any folding or lamination, like add lamination, it could be anything that you want. Round cornering, I see a lot of times for like business card orders. So anything you want to do, as long as it's a department item or a stock, it can be offered in a product attribute. You can have as many product attribute department item types. So you could have another one here, another one here, another one here, but you can only have one product attribute list for stocks because you can only have one stock on a line item. So it makes sense. You can add as many stocks within that drop down, but they can only choose one stock, I guess is a good way to put it. So you could have choose a fold, add lamination, whatever it might be. You can do those all the way down using department item type. The run size, flat size, and finish size dimensions are also available here. So informationally, if you chose fold in half and you wanted to say this is going to finish at 8.5 by 5.5, you can do that. That will come in with the order. The nice part about this is any selections that are made here will be part of the order, and the initial stock that was defaulted on the product will be replaced by whatever the selection is made here. Also in this view, we can see 500, 1,000, 2,500. If you want to have preset quantities available, that's fine in this dropdown. That is achieved in the pricing section of the product. And we have 500, 1,000, and 2,500 as our default quantities. The 500 is the selected quantity, so that is in purple, and that will be the first quantity that shows up. That functionality is driven by the quantity selection option right here, which is marked currently as dropdown. If we take this and mark it as text box, we then get a minimum and a maximum field that we can enter in any values that we want. And we can save that. And then let's refresh this page. We'll delete that from there. Refresh. We're going to take our brochure 4/4. And now we have an open field, but it's still defaulting to the 500 quantity because that's our selected quantity. So then we could really choose anything as long as it's within the minimum and maximum values. So there's that option, which would work really well for something like a brochure, whereas an envelope, you may want to say it's either 500, 1,000, 2,500 and have those set quantities so someone's not ordering 422 envelopes, which isn't going to work as well. In addition to the product attributes and the pricing selection for quantity, we also have online fields that can be enabled for a product. And this is in the online section as well, right here under online fields. So if you wanted to enable something like the versions field, click on the edit icon next to versions, enable it for point of sale, yes. This is the call to action that we're seeing right here. And then we can say, is it a text box or a dropdown? What is the increment that it's going to be displayed as? And then a minimum and a maximum as well. So right here, this is a free form field. We could put 2, 3, 4, 5. And then if you wanted to, you could do drop down, 1, this, and drop down would look like this. Just one moment. Add this in. Oh, that didn't update. I apologize. Did I not save this here? Thought I did. Maybe not. So the drop down is going to be like this. If you wanted to use the increment option, say increments of 10 for one reason or another, it probably wouldn't make sense in this case to do that, but just so you see how that what that functionality is. Just one sec, add this in. 1, 11, 21. So it's in going by tens at a starting point of 1. So we'll switch this back to 1 text box so that we can just enter a value in there, but you have some different options available to you depending on what type of product you're working with and what the need is, if in fact you do have a need for online fields. And these are the available online fields that are available to you. Now, the one thing I will note with all this flexibility, the one thing that we can't change is the number of sides field. So number of sides is going to be hard coded in as 1 or 2 at the product level. So what I would suggest doing there is having, if you have a flyer 4/0 product and then a flyer 4/4 product, those have to be separated, because even if we offered single-sided color sheets on point of sale and double-sided color sheets, and you would pick which one it would be, the product is still going to be set with a 1 or a 2 for sides. That is not going to change based on this selection that's made. So I would suggest, so that when the order comes in and your team sees it, there's not conflicting information as to, is this 1-sided or is this 2-sided? I would preset that based on the product name, flyer 4/0 or single-sided, and flyers double-sided or 4/4, however you want to label that. So just a heads up there. A little bit of a restriction, but not anything that's going to add too many products, because we can condense so many different options for a product into one product, right? Like a brochure, our brochure having all of those stock choices as well as all of those folding options. So let's take a look. I think we've got everything that I wanted to go over in regards to this side of things. Let me make sure here. Organizing. Okay, price and quantity. Yep, I think we're good. Great. So we've got all the settings in the background. So now when we look at this from a functionality standpoint, you know, how it would work if someone was in need of a quote or to place an order and someone was utilizing the point of sale to do so. The first thing I would suggest would be, okay, who is the client? We have it defaulted to walk-in. So if it's someone who's just walking in off the street that doesn't have an account, and they're probably not going to, you know, be a regular customer, they might be later, but you know, we're not setting up an account for them. We can put them under walk-in, which works well. And then we could create a contact if one doesn't exist within walk-in, which you can do right on the fly. You can also add a customer on the fly, and you can adjust the customer by hitting the edit pencil, picking the right customer, and then the right contact or adding a contact. Okay, so we've got our customer, our contact, and they're looking to order this brochure. All right, how many are you looking for? They told us 750. It's one version. They want it on 100-pound silk text, and they want this to be a trifold. Okay, so informationally, this isn't required, but you may want to utilize this just to confirm that that is the size that it's going to be when it's finished. This has no bearing on pricing. The pricing features and calculations are based on run size and flat size, which create our imposition in the system. From there, we can add a discount if we'd like. We can add a purchase order number if the customer requires a purchase order number. We can cancel the order. We can add notes to the order. So if we hit add notes, this is the normal note screen. We can just leave a generic note. Note from point of sale. And they can pay for this right here. If you have a credit card integration, they could pay with a credit card. And it looks like I had an error there. I apologize, but you could fill out the information to have them pay with a credit card, or, oh no. There we go. Let's go back. Sorry. Something's up with my, I don't use the credit card integration here because I'm not placing orders. But let's just go back. We'll rebuild this quick. We had 750. And the fold. Oh, we said a trifold. Half. I want to show you what this looks like when it comes through as an order. 1 second. If they were making a payment, just a manual payment, if you were logging a payment and they hit pay now, you hit pay now, sorry, you would need to put that in a deposit that's open so we can start a new deposit. If they gave us cash, for instance, and they gave us $270, the system will now tell you what the change due is, which is nice. So you would give them back $964. The payment would be recorded as $260.36. So let's go ahead and log that payment in, so we can show you that as well. And hopefully we don't get that error again, which we shouldn't if it's not a credit card payment, but you never know. And then that places the order. If they pay for it, it places the order, or you can hit place order. So a couple things to note once the order's placed. The payment is logged on this order screen. The note would have been right here. Sorry, I didn't add that back in. That note would have been right here. If we go into the item, we can see that the department items are pre-flight and trifold. Pre-flight was the default product level department item. So that was at the product level. That happens every time we use this product. We don't have default department items set up for all of those folds. Those are only existing in the product attribute list, so that when this order is placed, we only get this charge, which is great for two reasons. A, they're being charged for it, for the price of it. So finishing is $19.50 for trifold. And two, informationally, our team knows exactly what to do with this once the order comes in. So pre-press can look at the file, which you could attach a file here if you'd like. If you're attaching files, they could look at the file, make sure that the panels are set up correctly so that this is going to trifold the right way. And then also for Bindry, when they're ready to work with it, they know, okay, this trifold's great. I don't have to bring this job up. Hey, how does this fold? Because it says fold, right? Let's be more direct with what the customer's asking us to do, so that when it gets to Bindry, they know exactly what to do with it, and they don't have to walk all the way back up to the front every single time they have an order. So let's pass that information along to our team. And that's the nice thing about this point of sale option stemming from products. Those products are all predetermined. So anytime a brochure gets put through the system from this product, it's always going to look the same way. All the specs are going to be written up the same way. You're going to have consistency of the specs. You're going to have consistency of pricing, and it's just going to streamline everyone's day that touches it. So when pre-press gets it, they go brochure 4/4. I pretty much know what to do with this already. There's no, it's not written up completely different by three different people. Three different people use the point of sale or use the product using that new from product option. It's all going to look the same, which I feel is very important. Just because there's so many variables in this business as it is, wherever we can reduce variables and increase communication, it just makes everything move a little bit quicker, up to the point that someone calls and says, I hope you didn't run that yet because we have a change, right? Yeah. But they're throwing you curveballs. Don't throw yourself curveballs, I guess, is the point of what I'm getting to here. Also at this level, only the quantity that was selected is put in. So we've got that. So it's just, oh, and the paper. Here's the other piece I wanted to show you. So the 80-pound gloss text was the default here, 80-pound gloss text on the product. When we made the choice using the product attribute, only the 100-pound silk text comes in. So there's no question like, oh, okay, what paper is this on? No, just we're providing you with the information that you need to get this job done the right way, so long as when it was created on the point of sale, the right questions were asked and the right answers were given, right? So then from here, this can start to move through production, just like a normal order would. It's an order status. It gets the same number. It's no different if you were to create an order, convert an order from a quote, or create an order going to orders new. It's the same process. It's just coming from the point of sale. So going back to the beginning, we had initially turned on this product for the point of sale right here underneath product attributes in the online section. There is another option for this, and that would be in settings. And if we go to dockets in the bottom row, point of sale is right here. This allows you to manage what products and also view which products are on the point of sale, and you can click into them by clicking the edit button to the right of each one. So you can add additional products to the point of sale. You can remove certain items from the point of sale, and also get to those items by clicking on the edit option. This will take you right to the product edit mode, and then you can make adjustments here. I think we've got that. Again, I know a couple of people joined after I had initially mentioned. If you have any questions, you can just put them in the chat. I had started that out. If there's anything that you need, let me know. More than happy to help. Access to point of sale. So there are a couple different security features for point of sale. So if we look at point of sale here, and if we go to settings, admin, security, let's go to internal CSR, and point of sale is right here. So anyone with this internal CSR security role would have access to everything right now. What you can restrict is you could turn everything off, obviously, and then they wouldn't even see it in this menu. It wouldn't even show up. You can allow for them, are they allowed to edit the price? Are they allowed to adjust product specifications, which is this section when you hit this, like this would be turned off, on or off. And then can they add a discount? So those are the three different options, or turning the whole thing off completely, obviously, for certain users. Maybe Bindry doesn't even need that on their navigation. You could just turn it off for, if you go to security role of Bindry, point of sale is off. So if we were a Bindry user, we wouldn't even see this. So it'd just be in the way. So a couple different options there to restrict what you're seeing. So if you're giving this to sales reps on the road, it might be a good idea to create a role specific to sales reps, salesperson, where they can't edit the price and they can't offer a discount, but they can still see the product specifications. That would be a good way to, just maintain the pricing that you've preset in the system, depending on how much you trust your salespeople. So those are some options there. Let's see here. Oh yeah, I just wanted to show you also, if we go to the process that we did for the order, we hit we hit pay now, made the payment, it created the order. If they're not paying for it right at this time, let's do this. You can hit place order and it will just take you to the next screen. It won't have a payment against it. They could pay later, or you can hit save as quote, and that is going to do exactly as you're suspecting it will, and it will create a quote out of this instead of an order, which is a really nice feature that we didn't have before. And I hope people are utilizing this, because I just feel like this is again, a great way for employees of yours that don't know the quotes option, new quote, filling out all this information, choosing the right things and filling out the information. And then on the next screen, going in and hitting new quick add and filling out the right fields and or from product or template. This is just a real streamlined way to allow them to write up orders for things that you do all the time. And then you can focus your time in estimating on the jobs that are not the norm and that deserve your attention. I mean, these deserve your attention, but preset them and then they're ready to go, right? And then it's just not taking up as much time for the person who's doing estimating. All right. So if there are no questions at this time, that's totally fine. Just reach out via issue, submit ticket. If you think of anything that comes up for your specific needs, or if you need any clarification on anything, we're more than happy to help you. That's why we're here. If you're looking for the webinar calendar, you can go to your name in the top right-hand corner. Upcoming webinars is right here. June is all filled out. I added a new event. It's actually two new events. Next week, we're doing employee-specific, general user, and pre-press graphic designer. So these are designed in lieu of you having to create initial training for Document Manager for your team and your users. This is just kind of the lay of the land with Document Manager, what you're going to see on a daily basis, how to move items through production, how to create a quote, convert it to an order, just some general information. It's not getting into, pricing or procedures that you would want in place. It's just a very high level view of the system to get them in and accustomed to Document Manager. This one was designed to go over proofing as well as graphic timers for keeping track of artwork and or design time. The two new options that we're offering this month one is the June feature spotlight, which is going to be a rundown of all the new features that we've been working on that are being rolled out in the next week or two. So you should see those soon. And then we also added approvals and online payments, where we're going to go through the process for approving quotes, approving proofs, how to set that up on the portal side, how to allow access for users in different situations, and then also how to set up for online payments. And then on the 24th, we have templates and products. And I moved the accounting webinar to the end of the month, thinking that it would be more contextual at that level rather than it used to be today, the first Thursday. But thinking that you're going to be doing a monthly closeout, at the end of the month, it's now offered at the end of the month. We're going to see how that goes. And we're constantly coming up with new ideas. If you're looking to register for any of these to join us, just hit RSVP now after you hover over that item. If you can't make it, these are all 12 Eastern. So they're at noon Eastern. If you can't make it, they are all available under your name right below upcoming webinars under recordings. And I'm updating this list today with the inventory webinar that hasn't been updated yet. So I'll get that one up. And then this option will also be available by the end of the week. Once I can get this one posted, these are just links to the YouTube videos. So we have this for you as well. Feel free to share these videos with your team members. You can have your team members join the upcoming webinars. This is all part of our service to you. So whatever you need from there, feel free to utilize that information and reach out with any questions that you have via support. But thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. And we will talk to you real soon. Have a great day.